We are at the Oxford Center, aka what I call the vegan shopping mall here in Koreatown. We're about to eat some pho, and I'm here with none other than her. There's actually a her to a vegan and her, and that is Erica, Adventures with Erica. Yeah, she is my girlfriend, my partner, my buddy, my everything. We hang out, we travel, we eat, we munch. That's what we do, and I'm gonna bring you into the front of the camera since you're not in front of the camera a lot.
You know how much I love that.
So you're about to get to know her, and I'm about to experience some pho here at my favorite pho spot in Ktown.
Yeah, fun day on a Sunday. We're grooving on a Monday. Tacos on a Tuesday. Whiskey on a Wednesday. Yeah, we thirsty on a Thursday. It's high day on a Friday.
So I call this the vegan shopping center here in Koreatown because not only do you have pho, right across the way you have vegan ramen at Slurpin' Ramen. You could get vegan ice cream here at the Creamistry. Yes, they have vegan options. You could get a vegan slushy at I Love Boba. Just don't get boba. They usually make it with honey. You could always ask. And you could get Takis at the liquor store. So this is definitely the vegan shopping center in Koreatown. So there's a couple of options here that are vegan but are not labeled as vegan. Obviously the main thing here is the pho. It's my super favorite in Ktown. It is completely redonkulously danky. It's just very basic. So you have to specify that they use veggie broth. So don't forget that. And they have a vegetable fried rice that's fire. Their vegetarian spring rolls are also vegan, and they tell me their egg rolls are vegan. I do consume them. I haven't looked at the package, but they do assure me that they're 100% vegan. I have to start off with the traditional appetizer. Sorry, my breath is gonna kick during this interview, but let's do this. Believe it or not, I was a vegan dating a non-vegan. Yeah, so, and no, I did not turn her vegan, but that's how we started. We started eating a bunch of food, rediscovering food, which is the coolest thing about when you turn vegan. You'll have your first taco, your first vegan pizza, your first everything, and you get to rediscover those experiences and actually remember them. And that's when we started documenting everything we ate with pictures, and we started using Instagram as a creative outlet. We wanted to share what a vegan and her were eating and how, you know, a couple was, you know, merging their lives together. But actually in reality, you didn't grow up eating like a lot of meat.
No, I think I didn't really like meat and all that stuff to begin with. I was a really picky eater, so I had a lot of like veggies. I would eat tons of cabbage randomly, and a lot of salads. I didn't really like meat, and if I ate meat or chicken, I was really picky with it. Had to be like no fat, none of that stuff on it. So I just was really comfortable not having any meat or animal products. I wasn't a big fan of cheese. Which is interesting because I know a lot of my friends love cheese, so that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, and it's actually funny because when we just started dating, that was one of your worries because you weren't vegan and you were approaching a dude that was vegan. And
well, you were approaching me.
True.
How are we going to go on dates? What is that going to look like?
Yeah,
what are we going to eat?
I'm going to eat the salad and she's going to eat the burger. But you know, that's actually everything minimized. You know, when we actually started dating, you weren't eating much food, but I mean, you were eating food,
right.
But you weren't eating much food that contained animal products.
Right, yeah.
The two things that I do remember that kind of lingered on were a burger and hot Cheetos.
Yes, those are my weaknesses.
And that was the thing. It was always like, you know, and that's why I was a vegan and her, because those were the two things that you were letting go of, but without us noticing that it was just that. It was just that, and I remember you eating burgers and you being like, oh, like I can't kiss you, I just had a burger.
Yeah,
that's respectful, you know, and so that was really cool. But then, what happened?
I went vegetarian for like 6 months, which wasn't as hard as I thought. And then I decided, you know, one day I was going to go vegan just because I learned so much about how animals are treated and how unnecessary it is. So for me, I went vegan first for the animals and animal treatment. And then I started getting obsessed as a new vegan does. And I started reading a bunch of books and listening to podcasts and all of these things, documentaries. And I learned that it's actually really good for your health. So I decided, you know, I can't unlearn all of those things. So I decided to go vegan, and at a random restaurant we were at in July. So July is my vegan anniversary.
Let's dive into this food. Like, check it out. We have some vegetarian pho with some veggie broth, and you already saw this ridiculously good appetizer we made with onions and hoisin and sriracha. We're gonna dig into this vegan fried rice and these summer rolls. You know, so we all have our choices here. What's your go-to always here?
Obviously the pho. Veggie pho with the broth, veggie broth. But I get mine without tofu. I always give my extra tofu to Jay because I like my tofu a little bit seasoned, so I don't really like it with my pho.
Whenever I don't want pho, I actually go with the veggie fried rice.
So
flavors
good.
are bomb, actually. Let's dive in here. It's just so good. It's like, yes, it's oily. So what? It's delicious. It's oily. The fried tofu that they use on it, it's legit and just very basic. It's very home cooked meal.
It's really good.
The people in the kitchen are still mom and pops. And that's what's very special about restaurants here in Koreatown. A lot of them are still mom and pops. And Koreatown actually happens to be like, it is, Koreatown, LA really is Korea outside of Korea. I've had people tell me that they bring their family from around like Toronto and other countries to visit here as well as Korea, but this is a very, like, it's a big hold of what Korea is. And I'm glad that places like this, Thank You Pho, that's a Vietnamese spot, actually still brings that mom and pop's flavor and keeps the neighborhood true to what it is. In Koreatown also we have a lot of Latinos that live here. And obviously plant-based meals and options are very important to our communities. So I'm super excited, one, to show you this place and show you a lot more in Koreatown because we are a predominantly Latino community, although it is Koreatown. And anything you can touch on in regards to the importance of these plant-based meals, these mom and pop shops where you could come get a bowl of soup for $9, some rice maybe for $7, something expensive like that.
Well, I think from my own experience, I think it's really cool because it's keeping it affordable, it's keeping it nostalgic, and it's making people more inclined to like try new things, try new foods. I'm really picky, so I'm always hesitant to try a new spot. So when we came here, I was very hesitant, but I think more people are willing to like try things out.
That peanut sauce is fire.
It's so good. And it's super fresh, always really, really fresh. It's one of my favorite things.
Oh, also one thing, whenever you do order the egg rolls, make sure you say no fish sauce.
Oh yeah.
No fish sauce, because it comes with fish sauce. Ask for that peanut sauce. That peanut sauce is fire. Mm-hmm. Turning up this soup, you gotta add some sriracha, but
I'm gonna have a bunch of lettuce in my teeth.
Being in Koreatown and being that a lot of the community is Latino, it's very important for Latinos and Latinas to be very representative of their vegan diets if they are vegan. It's only the benefit to our community, health-wise, and more importantly, like, you don't have to eat the crazy burgers, the crazy pizzas, everything all the time. You know, those are treats.
Yeah.
But it's very important. Vegan Latinos play one of the most important roles in our current society. Why? Because in the US, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, we're one of the communities that are hit the hardest with them. Mm-hmm. And by being a brown vegan, we have to be able to be somebody that can be approachable, one, and a good resource for our community when they say, hey, I want to veganize my birria tacos. How do I do them?
Right.
Even if it's just one meal, because one meal makes a difference. One meal makes a difference. That experience makes a difference.
And I think too, that's why it's really important that places have vegan options, because a lot of times in our communities we have like food deserts, so we don't have like the freshest options available, like produce wise. So I think if certain places can make a vegan option that's maybe more plant-based and not as processed, that's also affordable, is a really good and a really cool thing, which is why I think this place is really cool to have here, because it's it's affordable, it's not as processed, it's fresh, it's freaking good.
So good, man. That like soup just warms your heart. Woo.
Coming from someone who doesn't like
Oh
soup.
yeah, I used to hate soups. I used to hate soups until she got me into soups. She got me into soups, and now like ride or die soups. So professionally, your focus is the reproductive health.
So mainly I teach a lot of sexual and reproductive health, just teaching all kinds of folks what's important about that, a lot of preventative care, how to take care of ourselves, how to advocate for ourselves, and I think it translates to veganism also because there's a lot of preventative care here. We have to eat healthy. Being healthy is not just what we like eat, but also how we think, and I think what I do kind of translates to veganism because it teaches people like really how to advocate for yourself and how to take care of your body and how to be healthy. So veganism is kind of a part of that because you want to treat your body right and eat good foods. That way we can have long, healthy, good quality lives and not really be as dependent on like pharmaceuticals or things like that towards the end of our life, because it's not, it shouldn't be the normal thing.
Especially coming from people that are brown, that is not very traditional to avoid milk. People will understand it or be a little bit more receptive. And
right. I think at the end of the day too, it's also like we grew up one way, but it's always possible to change to more healthy lifestyle.
That's exactly it. It's always possible to change. So stop 2 is some more soup, because we're covering soups with the person that introduced me to soups and made me like soups. And we're stopping at my favorite ramen spot in Koreatown on Western. It is called Tengoku. Let's go grab. The soup master over here says that Tengoku's ramen is the best in Ktown, and I vouch. Yeah, dude, it's amazing. We usually go with the level 3. Level 2 is still spicy, but level 3 kicks it up a notch, and I still feel it's not too spicy.
I don't know, I haven't tried it, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
Yeah. And what's cool is they do these little like cuts of corn, and they just layer them right there, which is really cool. It has some tofu, it has some noodles in there, and you see how spicy it is with all the peppers, all the flakes they put on it. Oh, and oh, you can't see it. Yeah, I'm using my hand. Bok choy. Oh man, I love myself some bok choy. We're about to dive in also into some dan dan noodles.
Yeah, I've never had this.
Yeah, and this is actually noodles in a peanut sauce with what looks like minced mushrooms to kind of like mimic meat.
It smells good.
Yeah, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. And we always started off with our all-time favorite edamame from anywhere.
So good.
And it's a garlic edamame, a roasted garlic edamame. The smell, the flavor, everything. It's salty. It's, look at these little pieces of garlic. They're just like roasted to perfection.
They're hard to share.
So this is the first time we get these dan dan noodles, and we just threw a wild card out, and we really wanted to try them. And wow, the peanut sauce, whatever they're using here as mushrooms is right on the money. The seasoning is fire. What about yours, Sid?
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's a little bit spicier than last time, but I like it.
So you've been here in Koreatown now for about 5 years. I'm a lifelong Ktowner, so I've seen it change a lot. But within the last 5 years, what do you think? How much of it has actually changed?
It's definitely more vegan friendly. Now we have a lot more vegan options, which I'm really excited about. The parking got worse, but that's okay. And there's a lot more construction, a lot more apartments, a lot more housing going up. But definitely the most excited about vegan options.
And it's so true. There's tons and tons of vegan options coming out. Not even coming out, that are here already. Where things you could actually veganize in Koreatown. And people don't realize how rich the vegan food scene is here in Koreatown. With this, hopefully you get to come and explore a little bit more. We're definitely loving this ramen and this dan dan noodles. These are amazing. That ramen is my absolute fave, hands down, hands down.
It's really spicy.
So these, I don't know what the hell this is going on, but this is fire. I don't even know, like, what is this? It's like tofu.
The sauce on that is so good. It's like creamy.
The shred. Wow.
See.
What do you think? Right?
Wow.
Right? The crunchiness of whatever they're doing with this,
Peanuts.
the peanuts, but this, just like the mock tofu or the mock meat, whatever they're doing here, it's really good. That tofu, the crunchiness, the sauce is really rich.
It's a little salty, but that's good.
Yes. I love this. I'm a tofu guy. And these noodles are great too. You know what? I actually don't think this is that spicy. Like compared to other places we've had ramen at where you could like choose your spiciness level, I think this one is, it's conservative.
I think it's hot.
Well, there you go. So be careful when you order. Level 3 is supposed to be the spiciest. Based on this, I would assume or hope they would have a level 4 and 5 for a little bit spicier.
Right.
No, but this is like perfect spicy.
Yeah.
This is like you can consume it easily, and it still has a great kick. So I opened up a little bit of the vegan cuisine world to you, and you definitely opened up a lot of the soup world to me, and that's been really cool. I'm really grateful you were able to join me in this portion of the Koreatown tour, exploring the soups, because you've definitely done a lot of soup eating with me around Ktown, and I'm very excited. The next episodes are going to bring in some dumplings, some all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue, some Mexican food here in Koreatown. There's so much more to see, so much more to eat, so bring those munchies.